All right, so make sure some people are forgetting that by the end of today, you got to send me a picture of your 11.2 homework, okay? Try to send it by the end of today. All right, did I push record? I did. You guys having a good week? Kind of, sort of, maybe? No answer? Okay, what questions do you have on the notes part? I went ahead and I posted the key to the notes. So if you, and all the problems are all worked out on the Walker web. So if you want to go ahead and log into that and pull that up, the key to those notes are there for you. Do we have any questions about the homework?
I had a question about number 23.
From the notes or the homework, Jack?
Oh no, wait, no, it wasn't that one. It was, I've gotta find, okay, wait, I think it might have been. No, what? Oh yeah, on the homework.
Okay, we'll get to the homework in a second. Any questions on from the notes? Or have you always worn glasses?
I have a question on the notes.
Me?
Yeah. Are those new?
Oh no, I just got them. They're for blue light because I've been looking at screens all the time, like every minute, and I get headaches, so.
Okay. Hayden, what
for number 1, is it a sector?
Number 1 from the notes?
Yeah,
yeah, it was just
that's
asking
a homework question,
for the area.
Wait, I was looking at the homework, sorry.
Okay, well, should we just jump to the homework? It sounds like everybody wants to do that. Okay. All right, well, I'm going to write down what numbers you have. What problem numbers? So Hayden, you said number 1?
Yeah.
Okay, that answer to number 1 should be sector.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure.
Okay, what other questions from the homework I can go over?
22 through 25.
Okay.
13.
13, okay.
15 and 16.
15 and 16, okay.
35.
What do you do?
I'll go over the last 2 for sure.
Okay.
35 and 42, okay? So don't worry about those 2. I'll cover those. So I have 13, 15, 16, and 22 through 25. Okay. Let me share.
Miss Richard, with
Yes?
my glasses, aren't me and Amy like the same person in different fonts with my glasses?
Yes, you're like the same exact person. I like the glasses. I think you look good. I'll wear mine next time and we can be glasses girls. Okay, so the first one is hold on. A sector of a circle is the region bounded by 2 radii of a circle, and there is arc. So that's number 1. So that was for you, Hayden. And then okay, so number 13. Okay, so it wants you to find the orange sector bounded by angle DFE. So I'll do here. So here, remember the formula for arc length and area of a sector are kind of similar, but here we're going to use area of a sector equals the measure of the arc, which are given, divided by 360, and instead of you're going to multiply it by the area formula. So we're trying to find the area of the sector. So the measure of the arc is 137 divided by 360, and then we know it's pi, and then the radius is 28 squared. So from here, guys, you can just put this in your calculator and then get an approximate answer. What did I get? I got 937.31 meters squared for number 13. Good? Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and I'll post the video to this, so in case you miss anything. So I got to clear that because I'm going to go over. All right, so 15 You're going to use the diagram to find the indicated measure. So for 15, you're just trying to find the area of circle M. So you're given that this sector, the measure of the is 60 degrees, and you're given that the area, not the area of this blue sector is that. So if we're going to use the area of the blue sector, we have to use 310 degrees for the measure of the arc there, because it's giving us the area of the blue sector, not the white one. All right, so I'm going to use divided by 360. And this time, pi r squared, I'm going to put x because that's what we're solving for. I'm just going to put x there for area. All right, so the area of the blue sector is 56.87 equals 310 by 360 x. So to get x by itself, guys, remember we talked about this last week, you have to multiply by the reciprocal on both sides. This becomes 1, and then just put this in your calculator. And you're going to solve for the area by doing that. So when you put this in your calculator here, you get approximately, I got 66.04 centimeters squared, which makes sense because the area of the blue sector was 56.87. And so I was only missing that little tiny white piece of pie. So if I add that into there, it makes sense that the area of the whole circle would be 66.04. Okay, so I'm going to move on to number 16. All right, number 16 is the one that required the most math because you actually had to find the radius, okay? But you're given the measure of the arc and you're given the area of the sector, and you're going to have to solve for the radius. So I'm going to use 12, the area of the sector, equals the measure of the arc divided by 360. And this time I have to solve for r. Jack, are you awake?
Sorry, I
Seriously?
accidentally.
You're falling asleep? Sit up,
So,
man. Sit up.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. So on my first class, I like slept through it, so I'm like really tired.
All right, so we're going to multiply by the reciprocal of 89 over 360, so 360 over 89. I need to get r squared by itself. So that becomes 1. And then, calculator, multiply that out. So 3 divided by 89 times 12.36. And you get about 50. I got about 50, like round 49.9955 equals pi r squared. Still don't have r squared by itself, so divide by pi. So we have r squared equals, and you can divide by pi if you want to, or you can. Now we have r squared equals 50 over pi, and so we have to take the square root of both sides so we can get r by itself. So I put this in your calculator, just like that. You'll get more than a. Make sure I got the right answer. Okay, you should get 3.99 approximately, or 4. You can round it up to 4 if you want to. And this is going to be meters. So
How do you
for those
put R in the
problems I
calculator?
used, what's the matter, Hayden?
How do you put R in the calculator?
You don't put r in the calculator.
Oh, well, then how do you put like the square root of R squared?
No, because you know the square root of r squared is r. You don't have to put that in the calculator.
Oh, okay.
You only have to put this part in the calculator.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to move on. Okay, so 22 through 25. So this, guys, these questions were like progressive. You had to start at 20 and then go to 21, so on and so on. So I'm going to go ahead and put the answers for 20. So that the radius, you should have gotten 9.11. And the circumference, you would have gotten 57.23. And then the measure of the arc, okay, so 22, you had to find the measure of arc KL. But if you look in the instructions, you're given that the area of that orange sector is 42 square inches. And then I'm given the entire area. But all I really need to find is the measure of the arc. So I'm going to plug in the area of the sector is equal to x, because I have to find that measure of the arc, so I'm going to call that x, divided by 360 times pi, and then I know the radius is 9.11 squared. So once you do all the algebra, you have to isolate x by itself. You can do it a couple different you can multiply both sides by 360 first, then divide by that, whatever you want to do. But in the end, you should get approximately 50. Oh gosh. Okay, so however you want to get x by itself right here on the right side, it doesn't really matter how you do that. Well, it does matter, but you guys can do it whichever way makes you feel comfortable. So this would be 58 degrees. Okay, so once we have that, so we know this now is 302, and this is 58 degrees. On to question 23, the perimeter of the blue region. So I want to, if you were to run, you see the little Pac-Man, if you were to run all the way around it, I want to see how far you ran. We know that the two radii are 9.11, so those are 2. I got to figure out the arc length so I can add it to the 2 radii total perimeter. So I'm going to use the formula for arc length equals this angle over here, which is 302 over 360 times, and then 2 pi times the radius. And then you just put that in your calculator. You should get the arc length to be about 48.02 inches.
How do you remember all these like formulas and all these little things that it's like a lot of different stuff?
It is, but really the main 2 things in these sections, Tara, are just the arc length formula and the area of the sector. You can remember those 2 things, and then like when you read the question, is it asking for the length or the area of the sector? And it's just got to pick the formula that you need. That's really it. Just those 2 formulas is all you need. And you should already know at this point the area of a circle and the circumference, those formulas. So once you add all this together, you should get 66.24 for that perimeter of that little Pac-Man.
I have a question.
Okay.
So how did you get the radius of M?
So the
When you
radius of M, you see up here in this first sentence, Hayden, they give you the area of the circle.
Uh-huh.
So area is equal to pi r squared. So I know the area, then I can solve for the I did for 20.
Okay, so you need like something like the area or something to find out the radius.
Right. That's why the questions they went in the order that they did, because it kind of helps you solve for information that you would need later on.
Okay.
All right, and then okay, so 24 is asking you for the arc. Here we're going to use the arc length formula. I know the measure of this arc. We found it earlier to be 58. And then I know the radius is 9.11. Put that in your calculator. And you should get 9. You should get 9.22 inches for the arc length of KL. This would be 9.22. And then lastly, this was like a marathon of questions. They want you to perimeter of this like pizza slice. So very similar to number 23, with the exception you have 9.22, which is the arc length, plus the 2 radii. And you get 27.44 for that.
I had a question again on, I couldn't figure out, what was it? Number 23.
It's 9.11, plus you have to find the arc length here, which I did previously. Yeah, I already worked that one out. If you need to, I'll leave the video and you can go back and look at what I did in the video since I erased it. Sorry about that. Okay, any other questions about 24 or 25 while I still have them up? Okay. All right, so the last 2 problems we're going to talk about are 35, 42. So I'm going to draw the picture because I know in the book it didn't have a picture of, and please pardon my drawings, this is not good. Okay, so that's pretty much the picture that you should have. A square is inscribed in a circle, and the same square, oopsie, that's not true. Hold on. Disregard, don't draw that picture. Don't draw that picture. There we go. I had the wrong circumscribed. Here we go. Square that's inscribed in a circle, and then you have another circle on the inside of the square. There we go. So what it's asking is find the ratio of the area of the large circle to the area of the small circle. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to change colors here for you guys. I'm going to draw in the diameter of this smaller circle. I'm going to draw 2 diameter. What I basically did by drawing 2 diameter is I actually divided this square into 4 little squares. So all of these little parts are congruent. All right. The next thing I'm going to draw is I have to figure out the radius of the big circle. So what I'm going to do, in order to do that, I'm going to choose, I'm going to say the radius of the small circle is 4. So if that's 4, that's 4. All where you see the marks is 4. So what I just did is I have this right triangle here. So I know my 2 legs are 4 and 4. What kind of triangle this is? You guys remember back when we did trig, it's a 45, 45, 90. When your legs are both 4, the hypotenuse is 4 square roots of 2. And that just goes back to where we did those special right triangles. So I just figured out the radius of the big circle is 4 square roots of 2. And the radius of the small is equal to 4. Now guys, like this, you can pick whatever number you wanted here. You could have picked 5, 6, it doesn't really matter. The answer is going to come out to be the same in the end. All right, so once we find the radius, we know we can find the area of the 2 circles. Bless you. Okay, so I plugged in 4 square roots of 2 here, 4 there, and then I get, I'm just going to leave it as 32 pi, and this one is going to be 16 pi. So if I do the area of the big over the area of the small, 32 pi divided by 16 pi, the pi's cancel. 2 over 16 is 2 over 1. So the ratio would be, you can write it in a different way, is 2 to 1. guys remember, like I mentioned earlier, you could have picked 5, 2, 4, I don't know, whatever. The answers 2 to 1 would have come out the same at the Here, phew, I looked at my forehead. And you can look at it, but this one was kind of extensive. It was kind of cool though, because it kind of drew back like we did with right triangle trig. Okay. Last question. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to post. I like this problem, and I don't want to sit here and explain it because once you walk through the explanation here, oopsie doodle, and it makes a lot of sense once you read the explanation. So I typed it up for you guys because I want you to go back and really read through it. So when you go back and watch the video, I would push pause at this point, and then this go through and really read. Actually, part C. Part C doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
Sorry, you're glitching a little bit. And I don't think I heard what this is for.
Post, Tara. I'm gonna post this this question, and then this is a typed up answer. I'm gonna post that online in the Walker Web, so you can really go back and read it.
Okay.
Because I want you guys to. I don't want to sit here and work for you. I need you to go back and really look at it and walk yourselves through it. But like I mentioned, part C. Part C doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Okay, so like I said, I'll post that. I'll take a little picture of it and post it, or whatever you want to do. Okay. So if you want to go ahead and leave the question off, that's completely fine. But I do want you to go back and read it because it'll be important. It's a cool question, and it really makes a lot of sense once you read the explanation.
Miss Witchard,
Yes, sir.
is the diameter like, or is the radius half the diameter
Yes.
of a circle? Okay, that's what I thought.
All right, so what we're gonna do now, and this is, you can, once I'm gonna post, I have a Kahoot challenge for you. And you're gonna do it at your own pace, okay? So I'm gonna pull up this and I'm gonna post the link to it. And it's not more like you have to sit on your phone and we have to do it together. It's at your own pace. For each question though, there is a time frame, like, but it's like 4 or 5 minutes, I think, for some of these questions. So it's plenty of time for you to complete it. I think there are a total of 12 questions. And it's gonna cover 11.1 and 11.2. So click on that link. It may ask you for the pin. This is the pin here. Don't see it.
Is that all our homework for today?
Yeah, so what I want you to do is once we get off this call, is I want you to work on this Kahoot challenge. Click on that link or pull up Kahoot and type in the game pin. And it's a kind of work at your own pace. Sure, guys, when you type in your nick, MC Hammer or something like that, I need to know that you did it because you will get participation points for doing it. Okay, so it's kind of like extra credit points. So just put your real name in so I know that you completed it. And I think you have until like 2, I don't even know what time. I think hold on. Yeah.
Do we have to do it right after this class?
No, I think I gave you guys until like 5 or 6 o'clock or something like that. Once you pull it up, you'll see that what time it's due. It's later.
It says 9 hours.
What time?
It says 9 hours. We have 9 hours.
I gave you guys a lot of time. Yeah, so you don't have to do it right after. Okay, I'm gonna check it later on, probably in the morning tomorrow. I'll check to see who did it. Once again, your grade is more about participation. However, I will kind of reach out to you if I see 13%. Okay, does that sound good? Can I get a thumbs up? Do I see thumbs up? If people are awake? Okay. All right, so guys,
Whoever I is.
make sure you send me your homework for 11.2. I've stopped telling people, reminding them, because at this point it's an expectation, and it's also in the morning when you see those assignments, it's also, the reminder is also in there too. Okay. All right, guys, that's it. If you're having trouble logging into it, just let me know. Send me an email. Okay. All right. See you guys.
Thank you.
Ellie, did you have another question?
I was just still confused on 23.
Want me to work? I can rework 23. Hold on.
Okay, thank you.
All right. I'll reshare it. All right, let me clear this out. Okay, so 23, asking you for the length here, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so we know this is 302 degrees, and we know this arc, measure of that arc is 58 degrees. Okay, we want to
Mhm.
find arc length. We're going to use, oh, you said 23, not 24, right? Sorry.
That's
My
good.
bad. Sorry.
You are totally fine.
Okay, so we're not doing that. All right, so we found, whoopsie, we found the radii. So you know that part, right?
Mhm.
Those two radii are part of that perimeter of that blue section, that little Pac-Man. So there's your Pac-Man and all the little white dots. Okay, so 9.1 plus 9.11, because I got to include that in my. So now the only thing I have to do is find the length of this arc, that big arc there. Okay, so I'm going to use the arc length formula is equal to the measure of that arc divided by 360 times 2 pi r. So I know the measure of arc, Ellie, is 302. And then the radius is 9.1. So then you just got to put this in your calculator.
See, I tried doing that, and I don't think I'm doing my
Make sure you're
calculator.
using parentheses. So let's do it together. Do you have your calculator?
Yes.
Okay. So parentheses, 302 divided by 360. And then do another set of parentheses. Hit 2 pi. And then in that same parentheses, you can hit the times button, 9.11. And then end parentheses. And then hit enter.
48.02.
02.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the length of the arc. Add that to the two radii of the Pac-Man to get the total. When I add those up together, I get 0.24 inches.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So I want to give you, because I know I'm going to show you some questions on the thing that you might have questions for. Just in case, I may not be here. I'm going to go out for a while, so I may not be here if you have questions on it.
Mhm.
So I want to show it to you. So I'm going to stop share. I just want you to write down these hints. Okay. Where's my share? Okay, there we go. I'm going to click off. Okay, share. Okay. All right, can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to go back. Let me go to my Kahoots. All right, I'm just going to pull it up. For some reason, okay, there it is. All right, so write down for number 9, it's asking you about how long is the crust on one side. Asking you in number 9 is to find the arc length of one piece of pizza, so one slice. Okay. All right, and then number 11, it says a light reaches a distance of 8 kilometers. That 8 kilometers is your radius. And it's 35 degrees. So that means that the measure of the arc is 35 degrees. So you have a radius of 8 the arc measure at 35, and it says how much area does the light cover you for the area of the sector. You're going to use that formula.
The area of the sector.
Mhm. And then the last one is very similar, Allie, but you're not finding the area of the sector, you're finding arc length for number 12. 22 is a clock pendulum. The pendulum is 22 centimeters, so that's going to be your radius, and it swings 32 degrees, so that's the measure of the arc. But you don't want to use arc, the area of a sector formula, you want to use arc length formula. Okay?
So you want to use arc instead of the area of sector. You
Number
would use
11 is area of a sector. Number 12 is
Mhm.
arc length. Okay?
Okay.
And everything else should be pretty self-explanatory. But if you do have a
Okay.
question, just email me and I can probably email you back real quick. I may not be able to Zoom though. Okay?
Okay. That's okay. Thank
All right.
you.
Have an awesome day.
Good day.